Hi, my name is Scott McKinney, and this is the Holy shit. This is the Acceptable Madness Podcast. This is a podcast about depression from a guy that has depression that you've never met and likely never will. So I don't know why I thought that this was a good idea to make a podcast, but here I am anyway, and I'm glad that you're listening. This is just the first episode, so I'm going to keep it pretty brief. I just wanted to explain why I wanted to make a podcast, what the purpose is, what I hope to accomplish with it, and just other general facts and statements like that. So the reason that I wanted to make this is because I struggle with depression and, I frequent suicidal thoughts and all of those commercials on TV that talk about antidepressants and then list 10,000 reasons why you shouldn't take them because they might make you more apt to kill yourself it's not a helpful outlet. And I don't really have much of a desire to try them. Although I have nothing against antidepressants, I just feel like I wanted to discover a way that I could deal with it on my own in a way that was less chemical and more mental. So I've met with a lot of different people to talk about it, come up with a lot of different ways to cope with it. But honestly, a lot of what people say, it doesn't seem to help me. So I wanted to talk about what does work and what doesn't. So what I hope to accomplish, and this is, I know it's podcast one, so it really, goals. The goal is making a podcast and getting it on Spotify and Apple podcasts right now. But I guess a more long-term goal would be finding a way to help literally just one person. That's all. That's what my self-worth is equal to, is one person. I want to make one person feel better, whether it's myself or you. Hopefully it's both, because that'd be great. That would be superb. But I just kind of want to be out there, and if someone stumbles upon me and then they feel better, then great. That's one thing better in this world whenever there's a lot of things that can depress a lot of different people. Ideally, I want this podcast to be something where someone finds it and then they realize that there's someone out there going through maybe not the exact kind of struggles that they're going through, but at least something similar. Depression is different for a lot of different people, comes with a lot of anxiety and self-loathing and all that other good stuff, the kind of stuff that makes you not want to get out of bed in the morning. And I know that it can be brutal, and I know that you're struggling, and I know that you feel like there's no one out there that can relate to you. And again, nobody can relate to your exact circumstance or problems, but people have stuff that are similar enough where you know that even though you're going through a really tough time, other people are going through harder times or even less hard times than you, and they're still struggling with the same stuff. And what I've learned is that if you can even find a few people that you can relate to or understand a few others that are going through the same thing, you feel a little bit better about it because you don't feel as much like an outcast from society or your family or your friends. Even in making this podcast, something that I actually do alongside it is I do a lot of writing. That's one of the main emotional outlets that I found to make myself feel better about all these weird sadistic thoughts that I have. And that was really hard for me because actually coming out and writing on a piece of paper that I always think about killing myself practically every day and then putting it somewhere where someone can actually read it or think about it or understand that those are the thoughts that are going through my head, that was hard. Trying to show my mom and my dad some of the stuff that I've written has been a huge weight that has only recently come off my shoulders because I've gotten a lot more comfortable with the fact that even if it's not, they clearly don't want to see their son struggling with these thoughts, but they also are there to help and they want to do anything to make me feel better. And that's the same with like my friend group and my girlfriend and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, I don't know. I know that I've gotten lucky with kind of finding an emotional outlet in writing or making videos or making games, or I'm a bit of a workaholic. The way that I feel comfort is by constantly surrounding myself with different work that I probably don't need to do. It might not be healthy, but like I'm always in the business of trying to make a business or writing a book, and I'm currently trying to get it published or stuff like that. And that's the whole reason I wanted to do this podcast too, is just because it's another activity that I can do, and it can kind of distract me from the world, and I can get lost in the fact that maybe someone somewhere is being helped by this. So yeah, I know that depression is different for everybody, and I know that everybody struggles differently, but we're also very interconnected, and I'm sure that we all struggle a bit more similarly than we actually expect. So this podcast will be about me talking from different perspectives and about different things. Like, I know that some of the stuff recently in my life that's been particularly hard is I'm a recent college graduate, and finding a first job seemed like the end of the world. And it's not because I was having a hard time finding one. It's because I knew that whenever I got into this job, it was going to be really hard to wake up every morning and go into work and act like everything was normal, because you don't want to wear your depression on your sleeve, and you don't want to bring other people down with it. And most of the times you feel like people don't care about it anyway. So I don't know. I'm sure that'll be an episode that comes in the future. So end of the story is I want to help people, and I think that maybe this could be a way that I do that. And I hope that you agree, and I hope that you come along this journey as I figure out how to operate a podcast, how to connect with people without ever meeting them, and trying to make a difference that way. So stop by next week, and I don't know, enjoy the podcast. Thanks. Bye.